Hi, in this one we're going to be talking about dictionaries in Python and actually coding out dictionaries to understand them in a much deeper sense. So let's move on to the first task. The first task is to create a dictionary of student grades in the subjects maths, science, and history. So let's create a dictionary. I'm going to call this student grades 1. And according to our syntax, we have our curly braces and our key, which is a string. So math is our first key with a colon. And let's give this student a grade of 100 in math. And then in science, we could give the student a grade of 98. And in history, we could give the student a grade of, well, about 85. So we've got a dictionary right here. You can always position dictionaries like this after the comma. This is really just formatting. It doesn't really matter. I prefer my dictionaries this way while they're short, but if we had a, a couple tens of keys or hundreds of keys, I would prefer them to be formatted horizontally like this. Anyways, let's move on. So this is our dictionary. Now let's use the print function for the second task to print out this dictionary. So we're going to be using the print function and the dictionary name, which in this case is student grades 1. And let's run this. Once we run that, we see that we've got a dictionary right here and it says math 100, science 98, and history 85. Just for a plus point right here, if we print out the dictionary name and then in square brackets we write the key name, which in this case could be math, and we run this, we get 100 as the score, right? And if I print out the type of what is being printed or what value is being pointed to, it says int because this 100 is an integer. So this serves as an example to also access values inside a dictionary. So math, and then we have science, and we have history. So when I run this, all of these are class int. If I simply remove the type function from the last print statement, I should get 85, which are the grades for history. And when I run that, I get 85. Pretty simple. Now, let's move on to the next task. The next task is add grades for the subject English. But wait, we don't really have the subject English in here. That's not a key. So how do we add a key to this dictionary? It's actually fairly simple. You simply write the dictionary name, your square brackets, inside the square brackets, the new key name that you want. So in this case, that would be English. And make that equal to a value. So let's say English is 99. And then let's print out student grades again and run it. And now you can see that we have math, science, history, and English. And the value 99 has been associated with the key English. Pretty simple, right? Awesome. Let's move on to the next task. The next task is to display each value and key using a for loop. Pretty simple. Just like we do in lists, let's write for I in range, length of this dictionary, and then print out, well, student grades at position I. Let's see what we get here. To get a better output, I'm just going to comment out all of these exercises that we've done before, or all of these tasks that we've done before, so that we still have our dictionary. But I would still need the English grades, so I'm going to uncomment that and run it. So once we do that, oops, we've also commented the for loop. Once we do that, it says key error 0. Why do we get this key error? This key error is because right now I is in a range of 0 to the length of this dictionary. And you cannot access a dictionary with a number or an index number. You need to access it with its key name or with its key. So in this case, instead of the range function, what we could do is for I in in our student grades dictionary. We done it. And now I is each key in the student grades dictionary, and these are all the values. So if I just print out I as well, you can see that first we have I printed, which is math, and then 100, which is student grades at math, then 98, then science, which is I, and then 98, which is student grades at I, which is student grades at science, then history, which is I, and then 85, which is student grades at I. Pretty simple, right? So this is how you'd use a for loop to print out the keys and values in a dictionary. And of course, you can always write something like that to have them in one line. Maybe I could just add a space so that we have a good space right here. So it's properly formatted. Awesome. Let's move on to the final task for this exercise. The final task is to create a program that determines and displays the number of unique characters in a string entered by the user. So we have a string which has duplicate characters, and we need to find out the a string with unique characters, right? So for example, hello world has 10 unique characters while zzz has only one unique character. So use a dictionary or set to solve this problem. Well, let's use a dictionary to solve this problem. Now, first off, let's take a user input. So maybe we could use something like word as a good variable name, and then take a user input, make that equal to kindly enter a string. Now the user is going to enter a string, and that's going to be stored as a string inside our variable word. Now what we need to do is we need to determine the number of unique characters in a string. So how are we going to do this? Well, it's pretty simple. First off, let's take this word and convert it into a list. So each character is a part of the list. So now, once we've got this word, what we do is we write for, let's create a list first. So word list equals an empty list. For I in word list dot append I. And now let's just print this word list. So let's run this. Okay, it says kindly enter a string. So the string could be hello world. And then when I press enter, we've got each letter or each alphabet or each character of this string as a different item in our list word list. Now what we need to do is we need to determine if each of these letters are unique. Here we can see that the L and L is not unique, and then this L is again not unique. The O is not unique. So we just have H, E, W, and D, and as well as R, and the exclamation point as a unique character. So how are we going to determine this? It's pretty simple. What we want to do is we want to take each of these alphabets, make them a key in our dictionary first. So let's write a for loop for that. Let's create a word dict, which is a word dictionary. And as of now, it's an empty dictionary. Let's add elements to this dictionary using a for loop. So for I in word list, word dict of I. So we're creating a new key of each alphabet in our word list, and then making that equal to I dot count. Oh, my bad. That would be word dot count, and then we use I as the alphabet. So what this does is it creates a new key with this alphabet in our dictionary, And the value associated with it is our word, but the number of times this alphabet is counted inside our word. So that's pretty simple, right? Let's see what our dictionary looks like. Now I'm just going to run this, and when I run it, we have hello world and an exclamation, press enter, and now we have our dictionary. So that's H comes one time, E comes one time, L comes thrice, O comes twice. We got a space that comes once, a W that comes once, R that comes once, D that comes once, and an exclamation that comes once. Now, while you know that the L comes in about 1, 2, and 3 times here, the key is only 1 because, as I told you guys in the last one, you can only have unique keys in a dictionary. So, well, Python handles that for you, and now your dictionary has all the letters or characters in your string that are unique. So, what does the question say? It says create a program that determines and displays the number of unique characters in a string entered by the user. So, here what we could do is let's just simply go ahead and count the number of keys which just have 1 in front of them. So, here let's iterate through this dictionary first. So we write for I in word dict, if word dict of I equals 1, that means that, well, it is a unique character. So let's create a counter. So that's unique counter equals 0. And then we could have unique counter equals unique counter plus 1. So we're simply incrementing the counter so that we know how many unique characters exist in the string. Else, well, else you really don't want to do anything, so you don't need an else statement. Now, let's go ahead and run this. Now, once we run this, we've got hello world, and now we haven't printed our unique characters, so that would be unique characters, comma, unique counter. So when I run this and write hello world, press enter, it says unique characters are 7. So that means that we've got H, E, O, and so H, E, that's 2. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But in this case, we don't really want to count a space as a character. So let's add that condition right here. So if word dict of I equals 1 and I dot is space, and we'll write and not I dot is space. So the is space function basically checks if I contains a space. So if I is a space, this is true, and then the not makes it false. So if word dict of I equals 1, so if the count is 1 and I is not a space, then you increment the counter. So ideally now our answer should be 6. So that will be hello world, press enter, and now our unique characters are 6. At the same time, if we take the answer in, well, our question right here, which is ZZZ, we write ZZZ, and it says unique characters are 0 because Z comes thrice, and well, that's really not a unique character. So guys, that's pretty much it for this one, and well, I'll see you in the next one with our project in Python for this course. It's going to be a nice extensive section, so get ready for it, stretch your arms, probably go get a cup of coffee, and get fresh. If you've got any questions on this one, put them down in the comments below so that my team and I can help you in the best possible way and ASAP. Until then, just have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.